Hi everyone, Stacy Whiter here on behalf of Campus Mortgage with a Fannie Mae policy refresher for you, obtaining IRS transcripts. Now just a quick reminder before we get started, the information contained in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice or used in place of Fannie Mae guidelines. Also, this video was created on April 11th, 2017, and the information contained in this video is subject to change without notice. The 4506T form allows a lender and gives them permission to get the borrower's tax returns directly from the IRS. The lender can request up to 4 previous years, and this format is very fast because it comes directly from the IRS. It's efficient, fast, and electronic. When it comes to Fannie Mae underwriting guidelines, some lenders will execute the 4506T on a pre-funding basis. However, Fannie does not require the execution of the IRS form 4506T as part of the underwriting process on a pre-funding basis. So let's talk about post-funding basis now. So Fannie Mae does require that on a post-funding QC basis, when it comes to re-verification, that a lender has the execution of the IRS 4506T form in the written QC plan. Also, the post-closing QC process must include obtaining transcripts. If you go to the FNMA.com website, there is a fantastic guide which walks you through all of these requirements and gives you examples. I'm going to pull out a few of the examples in this guide here to show you, to give you a little bit more detail. So in this example, this would be where tax transcripts were obtained during the underwriting process. So these steps would be applicable for DU underwritten loans that were either done through the DU validation service or not through the DU validation service, which again is that one-day certainty system that Fannie Mae offers, and would also apply to manually underwritten loans. So if during underwriting the lender obtains the signed 4506 form and they execute it, meaning they send it to the IRS and they get the tax returns back, tax transcripts back, then that would mean there would be no need during closing for the borrower to re-sign the 4506T or to re-pull transcripts. And even if the loan is selected post-closing, post-funding, however you want to call it, for QC, the transcripts that were obtained during the underwriting process would be acceptable and you would not need to get a new set. All right, so let's look at another example. So in these examples, this is where tax transcripts were not obtained during the underwriting process. And this applies to DU written loans and manually underwritten loans. So let's take a look at the process. So during underwriting, the loan would be submitted to DU or manually underwritten. Transcripts then are not obtained during the underwriting process for this example. Income validation does not result in all of the borrower's income being validated. So then at closing, the lender would need to make sure that the borrower signs the 4506T, so all borrowers, and this would need to be done at or before closing, and for all income types used in the underwriting process, both personal and business. So they still aren't required to execute the form. In other words, they wouldn't have to get the tax transcripts from the IRS unless this loan is selected in a post-funding QC review. So as you can see here in this example, if this loan was selected for a QC review, then the lender must submit that signed 4506 form to the IRS to obtain the tax returns to re-verify the borrower's income as part of the quality control process. So this next example only applies if the lender is using the DU validation service. So that's the day one certainty service where they're verifying income through the DU service. So in that case, the loan would be submitted to the DU validation service for income validation, and all of the borrower's income would be validated by DU. So in that case, at closing, there would be no reason or no need for the borrower to sign the 4506T because it was already validated through DU. Now, the lender may choose to have the borrower sign it, but it's not required. And even if the loan is selected post-closing or post-funding, whichever way you want to call it, for QC, they still wouldn't need to get the tax returns from the IRS because the lender used the DU validation service. So just a couple of helpful tips when you are ordering the 4506T directly from the IRS. If you receive a rejection code number 10, then document that rejection code in your file and make sure that you have that in there for your QC process. So in that case, if you get the rejection 10 code, it means that you're not going to be able to obtain transcripts, and you just need to document that in your file should you need to show it to Fannie Mae. Now, if also you're trying to order the 4506 electronically, and maybe that method is not available, Fannie Mae is still going to require you for your post-funding QC process to adjust your process to request transcripts through any other option available. So that could be through the Income Verification Express service or even just by regular mail and sending it to the IRS. All right, everyone, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. For more tips and videos, please visit campusmortgage.org and look for their weekly mortgage and video tips designed for all mortgage professionals, including underwriters, loan officers, processors, closers, and post-closers. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.